Yeah, I'm wearing the same shirt that I wore last time. Don't ask me why. First thing is first, this month's movie that I have been so mysterious and suspenseful about is not a motion picture at all. I'll give you a hint. There's a hint behind me as to what we may be looking at. There's a hint, which is pointless because I'm about to tell you what it is. I was really struggling with something good for us to watch for this month. Something that excited me. And that's partly because we've had a lot of like repeat stuff, but nothing kind of new this month. Like, well, we've watched another Billy Wilder film. We watched another Barbara Stanwyck film. And I almost picked another James Whale film for this month. I almost went with The Invisible Man. And in the process of that, I was thinking about, I wanted to build something extra with it. Since it's a short film, it's only an hour and 17 minutes long. And so then I got more excited about the extra thing, which happens to be on YouTube, which is why I was like, hey, who can watch YouTube on their TV? So that's what we're doing. We're not watching a movie at all. What we are watching is an episode of the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. See? No, he's over here. There he is. It's mirrored on my screen. Sorry.
Did you ever have the feeling that you were being watched?
Why are we watching an episode of the Alfred Hitchcock Hour? Well, for one thing, we've not watched anything Hitchcock related in this group because there's not hardly... Like, the first 3 seasons of Alfred Hitchcock Presents are on Netflix, and The Lady Vanishes is on there, but it's a really bad print, and we just haven't gotten around to anything Hitchcock related. And I wanted to do something Hitchcock related. The Alfred Hitchcock Hour is essentially an hour-long version of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, and for the last 3 years that show was on the air, it morphed into the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. And the episode that we are going to watch is from the final season that aired on NBC, and this was first broadcast on February 15th, 1965. We're watching An Unlocked Window.
Oh, good evening. We wanted to take you behind the scenes for a moment to show you how we make our films. The friendly cooperation of many, many people is needed to bring you these stories. Prop men, makeup men, electricians, cameramen. All part of a team. I'm very proud of them, and they in turn... You know, I sometimes consider getting out of this business.
Now, I'm not going to tell you much about the plot of this episode because when I first saw this, I came to it completely cold. It was late one night. I couldn't sleep. So I fired up my Apple TV box and just went to YouTube and just was searching Alfred Hitchcock Hour episodes because I hadn't seen a bunch of them. And I just picked it, and boy, it was just a great experience. It is one of the fine. It's arguably the best episode of the hour-long Hitchcock shows. Definitely one of the top 10 best of the whole Hitchcock TV catalog. And I'm not going to tell you why. So that's, I guess, part of the curveballs that this is on YouTube and that it's an episode of television. A couple of notes about this. One, I will post it in the Facebook group. So if you watch on your computer, you can watch it there. If you go to YouTube to watch it, do not look at the comments because they give away the ending. Like, literally, the first, like, 2 or 3 are like, it spoils the whole thing. So don't do that. Brought to you by Coca-Cola. They'll probably kill me, but who cares? A couple other things is if you watch this on a device connected to your TV that can view YouTube, all you have to search is An Unlocked Window. And it's the first result. There's 2 that come up. The first one is the Alfred Hitchcock Hour. The second one is the remake from the 80s revival of Alfred Hitchcock Presents. And the less said about the 80s revival of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, the better. Because it's just not... There's a couple episodes that are decent. 1 or 2 that are good, but... Because Tim Burton directed a handful of them back when Tim Burton was like, yeah, Tim Burton! But, you know, it's not that great. Because every story that was done on Alfred Hitchcock Presents and the Alfred Hitchcock Hour was approved by Hitchcock himself. And yeah, this one is really fantastic. And the hour version of the show is very rarely aired on television. Matter of fact, it wasn't until a couple of years ago did I even know that there was an hour-long version of Alfred Hitchcock Presents, because, you know, being a Hitchcock fan aside, I love Alfred Hitchcock Presents. That's one of my favorite TV shows. I've watched it most of my life, because I used to watch it when I was 5 years old on Nick at Night. My parents were awesome. But yes, we're watching An Unlocked Window, and I'm looking forward to discussing this, because I love this episode. It's so freaking great. So yeah, we'll see how this goes. And if this goes well, there's a couple other things on YouTube that I want us to see. Sort of really great, obscure, wonderful, like deep catalog titles that will never turn up on Netflix in a million years. And some older stuff is starting to disappear off of Netflix. So I've got to go through my list of films I want to watch to start picking out more stuff for the rest of this month. I have April's film already picked out. But you're going to have to wait to find out what that is. And it's going to be something different too. So yes, we're watching An Unlocked Window. Again, do not look at the comments. Rule 1 of the internet: do not look at the comments, because it will ruin it. And it's really great. And we may start discussing it at the middle of the month. We'll just see, because it's just an hour. So yeah, we're watching the Alfred Hitchcock Hour in Unlocked Window. I think you will very much enjoy it. And that's all. So enjoy the YouTubes and the Hitchcock. This was probably not really as exciting as I seem to make it with all the mysteriousness. Oh well, ciao. Hey, something I forgot to tell you. That's creepy. Woohoo! Something I forgot to tell you. You will recognize a piece of the set in this episode. Okay? You'll see it within 3 minutes of the episode starting. Keep a lookout for it. Whee!